Hi everybody, it's Nate from The Kraemer Life. Katie and I have been on this East Tennessee 60-acre homestead for a little over 2 years now. And on day one, we knew we needed a tractor, but we didn't know which one. We have finally found the perfect tractor after many years of searching. And if you want to jump ahead and just see what kind of tractor we got, you can use this timestamp. If you want to hear kind of our thought process and all the criteria around this particular tractor, stick around. We knew we needed a tractor and we knew it needed to be multi-use. Initially, we thought, well, it was going to be moving things around, whether that was wood chips for the chickens or feed bags for the animals, or moving gravel and doing, a little bit of dirt work, bush hogging, tilling up some ground for food plots. But as we started realizing just what is needed to bring this particular property back from an overgrown state to a usable area with pasture land for animals and food plots for our garden, we realized that it needed to be a little bit more versatile than just a standard farm tractor. So we started looking at a compact track loader or a skid steer, and those things are extremely capable and extremely versatile, but they come with a downside, and that is they are very destructive. They really just tear up the ground, and we wanted to try to limit that as much as we could. Over the last 2 years, we have done quite a bit of forestry work and land work, and those were done primarily with bush hog or a forestry mulcher. We've also had people come out with excavators to take out trees and stumps. We've also had neighbors come over with their tractors and use a tiller to till up food plots for us, use a disc to break up the soil, use a box blade to scrape a bunch of debris. Over these 2 years, we've realized that we really need something to be versatile, somewhat lightweight, not destructive to the ground, small enough to get into tight places, but capable of lifting heavy loads and having multiple attachments for pretty much any job that you could think of. And that seemed like that wasn't really obtainable, or maybe we just needed multiple tractors of different sorts. But then that means you're maintaining multiple things. After 2 years of searching and trying to find the right type of tractor, I ran across a subclass of tractors called articulated wheel loaders. It's a tractor that instead of steering with front tires or steering with tracks back and forth, it articulates in the center to steer. And that articulation allows the tires, the wheels, to not destroy the ground beneath it as it's doing work. And so I started researching and doing a lot of research on articulated wheel loaders, and there are many different companies that make articulated wheel loaders, and I ran across this one that seemed to be so versatile and so capable in lifting heavy objects that it just seemed to be the perfect fit. So this particular one, and we'll get to it really quick here, this particular one, not only is it compact in size, not only does it articulate, but it is 100% hydraulic driven. It is capable of running any standard flow skid steer attachment. So I'm really excited to show you our new tractor. Introducing the Avant 755i compact articulated wheel loader. It is 120 inches long, 81 inches tall, and about 58 inches wide, depending on the wheels. A hydrostatic transmission, fully operated by hydraulics, powered by a Kohler 57 horsepower diesel engine. The hydraulic flow is 21.1 gallons per minute at 3,200 PSI. An inside turning radius of 49 inches, outside turning radius of 105. The lift height is 122 inches. It has a lifting capacity of 3,810 pounds. The unit itself is 4,420 pounds. All wheels are independently driven by its own hydraulic motor. Therefore, it is a four-wheel drive, but it can divert power or stop power from one wheel to the other. Let's go ahead and jump inside and I'll show you the inside of it, We'll start it up, take it for a little spin. I'll show you how it works. So first of all, as you can see, it is a cab, and it does have switches here for your AC on or off with the heat or cool mode. You have a little foot lift here. Hold on and jump in. You swing yourself in. The seat is a soft ride seat, adjustable to the person that's sitting in it depending on the weight. And it is a fully enclosed cab. Has windshield wiper for the front here. Has a nice viewing area down here and a viewing area up here with a sunscreen in case you have sun coming into you from up above. It has a lifting chart up here depending on how far over the boom is or how much articulation you're doing. Comes with a multifunction control, an easy steer steering wheel, a display showing you various things. So let's go ahead and start it up. Actually, let's not start it up really quick. So has front headlights, has a parking brake which is currently engaged, that's hydraulic driven. This is for the quick attach. This allows you to float your bucket. You have down here, this is your throttle. This is for the boom. You can use it with this, or you can use the electronics over hydraulics for the boom here. And this is for the attachment, if it's a hydraulic driven attachment, or you can use these buttons for that same attachment. You can turn on your heated seats. You can turn on your working lights. You can go into two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive mode, and that's the same thing with this button. All four wheels will engage with this button on. It has two hydraulic pumps. By default, only one pump is on. If you need more hydraulic flow, you turn on pump number 2. Has a horn, and of course the ignition switch. You got the right, left, and turn signal, and your windshield wipers. It does have a seat belt up here, or it has a lap belt, which I always have engaged. I just sit on it. That needs to be engaged in order to run. It has a 20 amp DC output. This window opens up for some nice airflow if you don't want to turn the AC on. Okay, so at this point, let's take a look at this dash here. It's showing that we are idling at about 1,000 RPMs. It's 75 degrees outside. It has 14 hours of engine life usage. We have one pump running. Now we have two pumps running. We are cycling at 8 gallons a minute of hydraulic flow. Now we're down to 4 because we only have the one on. And then this load sensor here will go off if we're about to raise the back tires off because we have too much load. Parking brake is currently on. This is a hydraulic parking brake. To drive, you have forward and you have reverse. That's it. And as I mentioned, the way that this thing steers, when I turn it here, so let's put the parking brake on, jump outside really quick. We can see that we are aligned, right? When I steer, you can now see it is articulated in the center. So in this case, the back swung out to the driver's side and the front went to the driver's side. So that's how it steers. So let's hop inside, we'll drive around a little bit. Take off parking brake, lift up the attachment, You got the standard attachment, you got the standard lifting and tilting. Now, because this is a 4-in-1 bucket, we can also open up the bucket and close the bucket. Idle up a little bit past 1,000 RPMs. So you can hear the whir of the hydraulic motors in action, the hydraulic system. It is a little bit of a bumpy ride since it's such a narrow wheelbase, both front and back and side to side, but it's a very stable ride because all of the weight is at the bottom of the unit. There is very little weight up at the top, so it is not top heavy by any means. It's very easy to steer with a very tight turning radius. You can see here that I've turned. My backside is it will turn this way, and you can see that the back turns. So this thing articulates to turn, and it makes it very easy to drive around. I'll show you what that looks like from the outside. The main function of this, of course, is a loader. So it should be able to easily pick up a load of material. So let's engage a little bit more power. And I'll do my best to film and pick up a load. I'm still getting used to this, so it's pretty jerky. That's an operator's issue, not necessarily a machine issue. I want to show you the boom function on this, and also I'll do the same, grabbing a bucket load of something from the outside here. So this boom extends quite a bit. So that's how you get the height. So very high, very tall, 122 inches up there. And then of course, with the ability to open up the clamshell of the 4-way bucket, you can easily dump when you're up at that angle. So this thing does have some flaws, there's no doubt about that. It's not a perfect machine. And the first one is getting out of it is not always that easy. Getting into it's quite easy. Step up on here, pull yourself up, swing in, close the door, rather easy. Getting out, not quite that easy. You kind of have to just hold yourself up and let yourself out. That's one of my biggest gripes about this thing, is getting out of it. The other is the fact that it's both a blessing and a curse in that it's lightweight, but that also means that you can get yourself into some pretty precarious situations, especially if you have everything rotated and you have a lot of weight on or in the bucket. So you gotta be really careful about not tipping when you're carrying a large load out in front of you. Another thing is these are turf tires, so they don't do a lot of damage to the ground, but they can also slip pretty easily. Because it's a 57 horsepower diesel engine, it doesn't sip the fuel. It does consume fuel at a faster rate than I would have liked, but we just keep it idle most of the time because we're not doing a lot of heavy work. But when we're doing things like grading or doing stuff with a 4-way bucket, or we're needing something that requires more continuous hydraulic flow, we'll up the RPMs to give it more hydraulic flow. So beyond that, this thing is very versatile. Oh, I do want to show you something that's really neat, and that is the system that Avant came up with to attach hydraulic lines. Now, anybody that's done hydraulics knows that it can be a pain in the backside getting hydraulics hooked up to your machine. Well, with this system, it's literally as easy as pushing this button. I'll try to do this one-handed. I can't do it one-handed. Pushing the button and releasing the hydraulic system. And just like that, we have disengaged the hydraulics. It's now ready for the next attachment. Now every attachment would have to have this unit, but it's not very expensive and it's really easy to put back in. Simply put it in place. Done. Hydraulics are engaged and ready to go. I think that's really cool. So I mentioned that this thing does have a hydraulic-based engagement for the quick release. Now, Avant, they have over 200 attachments that are designed specifically for their Avant system, and their plate that attaches to their attachments is a proprietary plate. So I had to purchase the adapter plate, which you see here, and so the quick attach or the hydraulic based attachment is for their plate and for their attachments, but if I need to attach skid steer attachments to it, I have to use this manual one right here. But my thought process was, I have to get out and hook up the hydraulics anyway for hydraulic based attachments, and most of the attachments that we're gonna have are gonna be hydraulic based. So the fact that I still have to go out and engage and disengage the skid steer plate and the hydraulics isn't that big of a deal to me. So overall, I am very, very happy with this machine. It is quiet. It can do a multitude of things. It has enough power for everything that we want to be able to do with it. And now it doesn't have, I'm not going to say that it has nearly the power or the capabilities that a skid steer does. I mean, those things are awesome. This thing has a lot of power, has everything that we need. It can run the attachments that we need. And for the land work that we want to continue doing as we fell trees with our chainsaw, we will be able to pick up the tree with that machine and put it into a pile or put it onto, you know, whatever, saw it up, put it into a wood chipper or whatever. One of the next things I'm going to get beyond this 4-way bucket and the pallet that we have is a flail mower for doing light brush work, field work, and maintaining the couple acres that we've had cleared, and also a grapple so I can start moving logs and various debris piles that we have scattered about. This 4-in-1 bucket can act as a grapple in some regard. I'll show you the function of that 4-way bucket, all it's capable of doing, in a different video. I just wanted to introduce this tractor to you guys, which I'm very excited about, as you can tell. So anyway, there's our tractor. I'm very excited to have it. I have less than 8 hours personally on it, so I have a lot to learn about the do's and the don'ts on this thing and the best method to use it. But I know it's going to serve our needs for many, many years, and it's going to do everything that we need it to do, not rip up our land, and help us save our backs. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next one.